What's up, channel Frederator? The Ant-Man trailer dropped and we are so excited. It looks really, really cool and we cannot wait to talk about it. My name is Cade.
And I'm Marley.
And so I immediately know that it's taking place post-Civil War, which we were kind of speculating. But, you know, is it pre-Infinity War? There's no way it's taking place at the same time.
No, and I feel like a lot of our heroes are going to be walking away from Infinity War not okay.
Oh, yeah, true.
And Ant-Man seems very much fine in this movie.
Right.
So I think this is definitely taking place in that interim time.
Absolutely. So we're thinking that it's, you know, right after Civil War because we see that Scott is, you know, basically a fugitive of the law. You know, like Spider-Man Homecoming picked up right after Civil War, and in some cases we saw some of the Civil War shots from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, whenever he's like vlogging or whatever. But Scott, you know, he's a fugitive. He was on Captain America's side. He wasn't on Iron Man's side.
Yeah.
So he's wanted.
And I think it's really cool the movie's dealing with the repercussions of that because with some Marvel movies, I do feel like sometimes they move on from stuff and there's not that many consequences.
Right.
But Civil War, I think, really set a precedent,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
It's like, it's cool to see him dealing with this choice he made.
Huge consequences. Yeah, and I mean, I love Paul Rudd so much just thinking about some of his
great.
lines. And he's so good in Civil War, just like the lines and like he wakes up and
Here's your shield, Captain America.
he's so good in Civil War. He's really, really funny. But let's talk about the trailer. There's a lot of really, really cool stuff. One thing that a lot of people are talking about is just straight up shrinking the building into a suitcase.
So good.
So like, this building was a suitcase first, or like?
I'm guessing Hank Pym designed it with that in mind.
Yeah, because he just like pulls out the handle. Like, oh man, it's so cool.
He's a super genius. I don't doubt he could do it.
Absolutely, and we saw some of this kind of stuff in the first one, but not to this degree. I don't think. You know, we're seeing it all over this trailer. You know, with the car, like as soon as she says like, you know, because of you, we're running and we're still running, and then you know they load up they put the building into the car, and then Scott's in like a bathrobe.
Yeah.
And he gets in the car, and then we see the car like expand
underneath another car. Yeah.
Super cool. So I guess we're gonna see a lot of that sort of stuff. But let's talk about one character that just kind of popped out, and we're like, who is this? And I don't really know too much about the character, but the character's name is Ghost.
Yeah.
Who is this?
So Ghost is a C or even D list tier villain.
Oh, really?
In the Marvel universe. They've used her in a lot of different, or him originally, in a lot of series. The one in the movie is female.
Right.
Originally started off as an Iron Man villain, but has made his way through a bunch of stuff. Most recently in a run on Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, cool.
He kind of invaded Peter Parker's company. He was tuned into this machine and then it got stuck to him, so now he like phased through things and he's kind of like on this like brink between death and life. Really, he's really creepy.
We see the hand movement in the trailer, so that's kind of cool. Like I don't know what to expect from this character. You know, we didn't see them unmasked. You know, I don't know if there's like the
face is all messed up if I remember correctly, and they've obviously fiddled with the backstory.
Sure.
But I think Ghost is going to be a byproduct of when Hank Pym first tried to make the Ant-Man suit.
So Ghost is definitely the villain, we can say confidently?
I think so.
Okay, it would probably make sense. I mean, we see twice in the trailer, so you know it seems like they're leading up to that. Also in the trailer we see Lawrence Fishburne. You might know him from The Matrix, right?
Yeah.
he's kind of famous. He's Bill Foster, who from what I understand is in the comics actually Hank Pym's assistant.
Yeah.
But he's something else too, right?
Yeah, he's Giant Man / Goliath. I think he's
cool.
gone by both names before.
So, you know, we did see a version of Giant Man in Civil War, right? When Scott's like, and gets really big and grabs War Machine. Actually, we see it in the trailer. But, you know, this other guy, he's been Giant Man before, so...
Yeah, so, I mean, let's not forget Hank Pym and Janet were S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in the past, so maybe we see some flashbacks and we see Bill be Giant Man on a S.H.I.E.L.D. mission.
By flashbacks, you think?
Yeah, via flashback.
So you don't think he's going to pick up the suit again or something?
No, because I think they want to keep the focus on Scott
and Hope.
And Hope.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll see it in the present day, but I definitely think we'll get more of those S.H.I.E.L.D. flashbacks.
I hope so. I mean, like, that was so cool. Like, especially in the first one, we got to see a lot of that stuff. And actually, in the first one, we got to see a little bit of Agent Carter, too, via flashbacks as well.
Plus, I want to see those retro costumes again. I love the old Ant-Man suit.
So cool. So cool. So speaking of Ant-Man, you know, Scott Lang, we see him, you know, flying on an ant again. We see him going giant again.
Yep.
We see him doing all sort of stuff. But really, you know, a lot of this was based on Hope and the Wasp, because it's Ant-Man and the Wasp, and we're really focusing on her. And there's even a moment where he's like, "Will you give her wings and blasters?"
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, did you have that? You didn't have that technology for me?" And he's like, "No, I did."
Yeah. so it's really, really cool to see, the Wasp getting a lot of like attention and like really showing like, hey, like this is just as much her movie that it is Scott's as well. So we get to see the kitchen scene where she's like running on the blade.
That was so cool.
So cool. And then she does the Hello Kitty Pez dispenser as well, like in the van again. So that chase scene must be kind of important.
I definitely think they have like a Google spreadsheet of tiny things that they want to make big or vice versa.
I mean, they have to, right? Like, I think this movie is going to pull a lot of like surprises. Like, I think Giant Man, like from Civil War, was a really big surprise for a lot of people. Like, didn't see that coming. I think we're going to see a lot of cool stuff like that again.
Yeah, definitely.
So speaking of Janet, actually, we get some, flashbacks from the first movie, and we learn that she disappeared into the subatomic quantum realm. But we know that she's cast in this movie. So definitely in flashbacks, probably. But are they going to go find her? We see a couple shots.
I have a feeling this movie is going to be a rescue mission.
Right. Yeah.
Because at the end of Ant-Man 1, he tells Hank, like, I got pulled out, so if I could live through there and come back, Janet could still be alive too.
Yeah.
And
we kind of hint at that.
Yeah, we see this weird ship thing in the trailer.
That's right, yeah. With the 3 like boosters kind of.
And I have a feeling that's gonna be the device that they use to explore the subatomic realm to go and find her.
Yeah, which we do see a shot of that as well, like with this giant, like it looked like a tick or something. I don't know what that was.
A tardigrade.
Tardigrade, there you go, science fact for you. Yeah, so we don't really know the full story. We just know that from the trailer, we really just know that Wasp can do some really awesome stuff, and Scott's gonna like go giant and fly on ants again. Like that's really what we know. Oh, and they shrink buildings. Like that's what we know from the trailer. But we do have a synopsis, which I'm gonna read, and maybe we can get some information out of it. So basically, it says, in the aftermath of Captain America's Civil War, Scott Lang grapples with the consequences of his choices as both a superhero and a father, which we do see his daughter in the trailer as well.
Yep.
He struggles to rebalance his life with his responsibilities as Ant-Man. He's confronted by Hope Van Dyne and Dr. Hank Pym with an urgent new mission. Scott must once again put on the suit and learn to fight alongside the Wasp as the team works together to uncover secrets from the past.
Yep.
Not Days of Future Past, secret from the past. So yeah, there we go.
It sounds like a rescue mission.
I think it's definitely going to have a lot to do with that. How Ghost plays into it, don't know.
Yeah, my bet would be on Ghost is trying to get revenge for this incident happening.
Right, because you did say it was back. Okay, so that makes more sense.
And I think, and then Scott's actions in Civil War lead to Hope and Hank having to go on the run. And so they're like, well, you got us on the run, so the least you could do is help us out.
So last question, how does it tie into the overall MCU right now? Like where we're at right now, we're building up to Infinity War. Black Panther is obviously leading up to it. This comes after the first part. How's it going to tie? Is it, obviously it's before, but, are we going to see some sort of like build up? Like, how are we going to go from A to B,
Yeah, I don't know. One thing I did like about the first Ant-Man was that it was like a very small but contained movie within the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, it was definitely very small.
But, there wasn't this big universe-ending threat. They weren't dealing with any of the Infinity Stones. So I almost wonder if that's Marvel's plan for this franchise is to just keep it small and contained, and maybe it doesn't connect to the overall MCU.
Well, I mean, we definitely know Ant-Man and Wasp are going to be in part 1 or part 2. We're not really sure, I don't think. But, they're going to be there somehow.
Yeah.
But, interesting. Yeah, maybe they just show up again.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe they use that subatomic technology in Infinity War, and we see the origins of it in this movie.
Interesting. We don't know. We're not going to know until May 4th when it comes out. A couple little Easter eggs that, we noticed from Ant-Man and Wasp. The costumes that they're wearing, the designs, the new designs. Ant-Man's looks like an ant on the front, and Wasp looks like a wasp on the front.
Yeah,
and I thought that was
the chest plates.
Yeah, and I thought that was such a cool touch.
It's very cool.
Like I never would have really realized that, but they do such a good job with pointing things out like that.
Yeah, I think out of all the superhero movies we get, the MCU does the best of translating their costumes from comic book to screen.
Yeah, and we just got the Captain Marvel first look at her costume, and a lot of people are like, well, it's not red, yellow, and blue, and it's like, well, there's probably reasons.
It's green because it's a Kree costume.
See, I knew there was reasons. I knew there was reasons. And then lastly, the thing I wanted to mention was when I first watched the trailer, I was like, this music is awesome. Is this like the new Ant-Man theme? Like, are we gonna get an Ant-Man theme song? Like, I can't wait. Found out that it's a song from 1980 by Adam and the Ants, and it's called Ants Invasion. That's so cool. Like
That's awesome.
Like they were like, ants. What's the first song that comes up? Like, this is pretty good. But I thought it was interesting because, you know, Guardians 2 has a lot of 80s stuff. Thor Ragnarok has kind of an 80s vibe.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on in Phase 3? You know, like even Homecoming has like this kind of 80s vibe in the sense that, like, you know, it's you know, an homage to those
John
80s
Hughes
films.
movie. Yeah.
So it's like, what's up with Phase 3? You know. So I thought that was kind of fun. But well, that's it. Ant-Man and Wasp trailer. Any last thoughts? Final thoughts?
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I love the first one, and this one looks even better.
Coming in July. I can't wait. Well, that's everything for the Ant-Man and Wasp trailer. We're super excited for Black Panther, Marvel Infinity War, and Ant-Man and Wasp, which is coming out in July. We're going to be talking a lot about Marvel because we're not just doing cartoons on the channel now. So
Lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff. And thank you for wearing your Captain America hoodie.
Yeah, no problem.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. And remember to subscribe, click the bell to become a part of the notification squad. And remember, Frederator loves you.